All right, guys, we're sitting here with It's Me, Quinn. And personally, I've been really excited about this interview. What's going on, Quinn? How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good. I've just been vibing here. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. I'm really excited to get through this interview with you and learn a little bit about you. So the first thing that comes to mind for me when getting to know somebody is, I'm just wondering how old you are, man.
I'm a youngster. I'm 18. I'm
18,
very
dude.
young.
I could not have guessed that if I tried. Oh my God, 18 years old. So, yeah, I mean, where do you live right now? You don't have to be too specific. You can just give me a rough idea.
Well, I live I live inside of Pennsylvania, which is more toward the northeastern side of the United States.
Nice, man. Yeah, I live on the East Coast too, so we got that in common. So I mean, a question that comes to mind for me when trying to develop an origin story is figuring out what sort of drew somebody into doing something.
So, what would you say motivated you into playing COD Mobile?
I had an Xbox 360, and I play games such as Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2. I grew up playing Call of Duty, and also on the PlayStation 2, I played games such as Call of Duty 2. A lot of people may or may not know of that game, probably more so of the Black Ops series. But yeah, so I've been around the COD franchise for a good while, and here I am still.
Yeah, so when did you start playing COD Mobile? I mean, you say a long time. I'm just wondering, were you experiencing it during the beta launch or?
I seen gameplay during the beta launch. However, I did not play during that. I played on the first day of launch, October 1st, 2019, and I remember that day like it was yesterday. I woke up this morning, I had Call of Duty Mobile on pre-register. Woke up right before school because I was, 3 years ago I was in school during that time, and woke up, instantly downloaded COD Mobile. And I remember myself playing it on the bus while going to school as well, because I took public transportation to get to school, and the first thing I was doing was trying out the brand new hit game Call of Duty Mobile.
Oh man, you were like a kid at Christmas time sitting there staring at his presents, waiting to open it, and then you get it and then you rip into it like an animal, and then your parents just sitting there that's absolutely crazy. Man, so do you currently hold a leaderboard position for any weapons, or are you top 5,000?
Well, right now I am currently top 400 globally right now on rank leaderboards, and also for leaderboards I had held for weapons in specific. A lot of my viewership and the community knows me more so for being number one for the S36 for quite a few months. I rep that gun for well over a year and a half, 2 years at this point. Back when I was also playing on phone as well, back when the S36 before it receives any buffs, and the S36 was always a gun where a lot of people, when they say the S36, the one thing that they complain about was more so on the recoil. Recoil being a very skill factor to the S36 for sure. But after receiving multiple buffs over the past 2 years, slight buffs here and there, it has become a little more easier to use, but still definitely a higher skill gap weapon compared to a lot of the other LMGs that are available. But at the same time, even with that high skill gap, it's not really too rewarding, considering that it's still probably one of the worst LMGs in the game compared to guns like the Holger and the Chopper that's being used a lot right now, especially in ranked.
Yeah, I mean, and I've on the topic of a skill gap with the weapon, I've noticed, dude, there's so many guns that are challenging to play with, and there's only certain players that have really dedicated enough time to understanding the recoil pattern and sort of compensating for the fact that it might not be as easy to use as, say, I don't know, for instance, right now, the Kilo, the Switchblade. I mean, those are meta guns. The M13, I mean, those are ones that you can pick up and slay with. But when you play with something let's say you really enjoy playing with the LK24, that's something that you have to sort of perfect or just get used to. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. Having a gun of a lower caliber in someone's hands is definitely gonna reflect into their gameplay and how they perform.
For sure, man. For sure. So, for me, when I started playing this game, I was interested in seeing other players. I immediately gravitated toward iFerg. Bobby Plays was another one that comes to mind because, you know, he's incredibly knowledgeable in general. iFerg, he's absolutely hilarious. I mean, I know he was top on the leaderboard for a long time, and then Jokesta kind of came up and maybe, you know, stole his spot when he switched platforms. Is there somebody like that for you that you kind of look up to?
Oh yeah, but starting off in the beginning of the game, or so like season 1, season 2 era, and also beta, you know, Ferg was definitely one up there. As for many, you know, Ferg at that time was probably one of, I want to say, the only bigger content creators, quote unquote, at that quote unquote bigger at that time. So you know, a lot of people starting off in the game, they went to, you know, Ferg. But there's someone who I looked up to more so on more of a gameplay level, and I really evolved off of that, which was Noah from YouTube, and he actually rebranded his name as of late to Noah Sunday, I believe. There's a little fun
Noah
fact
Sunday.
there.
Yeah, Noah Sunday. I checked him out recently. I saw that too. I actually went up against him somewhat recently, to my own dismay. Oh yeah. To my own dismay. Let me tell you, man, he is incredibly talented. So, how would you describe your HUD layout and play style? Are you like a 6-finger player, 5, 4, 3, or 2? Are you more aggressive, maybe more passive, somewhere in the middle?
Well, I play on 6-finger HUD, and for my gameplay style, yeah, I'm very adjustable to the situation. You know, depending on the situation I'm in, I'm being able to switch between the roles of like being a slayer, you know, being able to anchor spawns, you know, being a very important thing, especially in competitive play, and you know, just also being IGL, being able to you know, lead the team, being able to make those plays, you know what I mean? But yeah, in terms of my layout, like I said, I play with 6 fingers. Into details of it, I use my right middle finger to ADS, and I actually use tap and hold to ADS, meaning that I have to hold down my middle finger on the ADS button in order to aim down my sight, which is something that I had originally took up upon from Noah. You know, because if you guys are watching this, watch Noah and know how he plays, he also uses the tap and hold ADS option, and he was doing...
Actually, I use the tap and hold ADS myself, so I do believe, honestly, which is an odd coincidence, that I pulled that from Noah from YouTube out of one of his videos when he was talking about his HUD layout far too long ago. So that is a very odd coincidence. I do use the same thing. I employ that, but I'm more of like a 3-finger player. So that's pretty cool.
There you go.
There you go. Watch Noah Sunday, guys. So would you say that you prefer a higher sensitivity, or are you using something that's maybe a little more subdued?
I would say, personally, I prefer somewhat higher sensitivity. Over the past couple of months, or even year per se, I have been gradually lowering my sensitivity, especially for the past like 2 weeks or so, because I have recently gotten new finger sleeves, which, you know, I had to respond accordingly to those finger sleeves, considering that the touch sensitivity is way higher on the new ones that I'm using. So right now, I'm sitting at about 178 standard sensitivity and 158 for ADS sensitivity. Before that, it used to be way higher. I used to sit around like 240-ish on both my ADS and my standard. So
Wow. Oh, that is high. That's really high.
But yeah, since then I've toned that down quite a bit.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So how do you feel about finger sleeves? I mean, this just kind of came to me right now. I haven't used finger sleeves. I've just kind of relied on, and I know that this doesn't sound like the most politically correct way to say it, but like the natural lubrication that your fingers provide. I mean, there's no other way. The oil of your skin, so to speak. So how do you feel the finger sleeves help, or do they help?
I would say, finger sleeves drastically help. You know, the whole purpose of finger sleeves is to make it so you have, that consistent feel going across your screen with every swipe that you make, and being able to always have that consistency makes it so your aim, is 100 times better than what it would when you don't have that consistency, I've found.
Yeah, I mean, it develops like a sense of continuity. That's where you can really sort of develop that, like, I'm gonna call it like hand-eye coordination flicking. Like, so you literally, the amount of pressure, the amount of speed, or the amount of distance to move in order to achieve that shot and be able to track people. So it's more continuous versus, just using your fingers normally. And I think it's important to touch upon the type of acceleration that you're using. So what are you using currently?
I'm actually using standard sensitivity, fixed speed. So I am not using anything like speed acceleration or distance acceleration.
Perfect. So on the topic of HUD and sensitivities, one thing comes to mind for me, and I feel like it's a huge topic. So I feel like different devices have different...
And that's about all the time that we have for today, guys. This interview here was especially important to me. Quinn's a great friend of mine and a really, really talented player. We have a lot more excellent content to come, guys. In order to be able to put this out there, I really need subscribers. So if you could like and subscribe and share this channel, it would mean a lot to me. I would really appreciate it if you could take the time to go and check Quinn out. His channel is It's Me Quinn, capital I, capital M, capital Q. Thanks for your time, and roll the outro.